Welcome to Middle Class Millionaire, where mindset meets money. Let's grow together.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking into something that really flips a lot of financial advice on its head. Most people think being rich is just, earning more money, simple as that. But what if it's actually about something else, like really spending extravagantly on the things you truly love, and then being absolutely ruthless about cutting costs on everything else?
Yeah, it's a pretty liberating idea, isn't it? Almost counterintuitive. It comes directly from Ramit Sethi's book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich.
Mm-hmm.
And it really offers a much simpler way, an actionable approach to building wealth. It cuts through all the usual noise, the guilt.
Exactly. And our mission here for this deep dive is to give you, our listener, a clear plan, like a 6-step action plan by the time we're done talking, a plan to help you design your own rich life. So let's get into it. When we say rich, what are we actually talking about here?
Well, what's interesting is that for Ramit Sethi, money isn't about feeling guilty all the time or, getting stuck in that endless loop of tracking every single penny. It's more fundamental. It's about consciously designing the life you want. And your rich life, well, it's going to look different for everyone, right? For one person, it might mean traveling the world, staying in nice places. For someone else, maybe it's just buying a coffee every morning without that little twinge of guilt. Or maybe it's having the freedom to support your family or fund a passion project. The main idea, the thing he really hammers home is stop waiting for permission to spend on what you love.
Stop waiting for permission. That really resonates, that feeling of guilt that kind of hangs around money sometimes. So, okay, for everyone listening right now, just take a second. Think of one thing you would absolutely love to spend money on, totally guilt-free, if you just gave yourself that permission. You got something in mind. Okay, so let's say you have this vision, this idea of your rich life. How do you actually manage the money side of things, without having to obsess over a budget every single day?
Right, that's the practical bit. And Sethi's answer is surprisingly straightforward. Automation. The whole concept is you automate your income, splitting it into different buckets for different jobs. Think of it like setting it up once and then basically forgetting about it.
Yeah.
It removes that daily decision-making burden, that temptation. His suggested breakdown is something like this. 60% for your essentials, rent, bills, food, that kind of stuff. Then 10% goes straight into investments, things like your 401k if you have one, or maybe low-cost index funds, mutual funds. Another 10% is earmarked for savings. Think short-term goals, like a down payment, a vacation. And then, this is key, 20% is just for guilt-free spending, whatever you want.
That does sound almost too simple, doesn't it? Set it and forget it. But I guess that's the point. If it works, why don't more people do it? What holds them back?
I think often it's just that initial hurdle,
Yeah.
getting it set up, or maybe the feeling that you need some super complicated spreadsheet budget. But once it's running, it really does simplify things massively.
Yeah.
And it highlights something important.
Yeah.
A lot of people struggle, not because they don't earn enough necessarily, but because they just lack a system for managing what they do have.
Okay, so automation handles the flow, the how much and where. But what about what we spend on? Especially when you hear all this advice about, cutting back on tiny things. We've all heard it, right? Skip the latte, make your coffee at home. Does that actually make a difference or just make you sad?
Yeah, the latte factor. Sethi takes a very different view on that. Instead of sweating the small stuff, the tiny expenses, he basically says, find the things you spend on that don't actually bring you joy and cut those out ruthlessly. So, for example, you might have someone who loves food, loves eating out, and spends, quite a bit on restaurants because that's their thing, that brings them joy. But maybe that same person decides owning a car is just a hassle and an expense they don't value. So they cut that completely. I remember reading about someone who splurged on first-class flights multiple times a year because travel was everything to them, but lived in a really small basic apartment and didn't own a car. Seemed weird to others maybe, but for them, that was their rich life. The core message is really powerful. Spend extravagantly on the things you love, cut ruthlessly on everything else.
Okay, focusing on intention, on joy. That makes sense. So here's a quick challenge for you listening. Pull up your bank statement, maybe just mentally review your last few guys, pick one expense, and ask yourself, honestly, does this really bring me joy, or is it just habit or obligation? Might be revealing. All right, let's shift gears a bit. We've talked spending. Now let's talk debt and credit. These are huge hurdles for so many people. How do we tackle them effectively? Build a solid foundation.
Yeah. Crucial stuff. First things first. High interest debt. You've got to tackle that aggressively. We're usually talking credit card debt here. Those interest rates can be absolutely crippling. They just snowball. And, don't be afraid to actually call your credit card companies, your banks, and try to negotiate a lower interest rate. That sounds daunting, but it can work. People do it. Beyond getting out of that debt, building good credit is vital. Your credit score It's kind of like your financial passport, right? It affects loans for cars, houses, even renting an apartment sometimes. So 3 quick tips to boost that score. 1, always pay your bills on time, every single time. 2, keep your credit utilization low. That means how much credit you're using compared to your total limit. Aim for under 30%, ideally lower. And 3, this one surprises people sometimes, don't close your old unused credit cards. That long history actually helps your score.
Right, under 30% utilization, pay on time, keep old cards open. Got it. Now, investing. This is another area where people get intimidated. So many people I talk to think you need to be like rolling in cash to even start, like it's some exclusive club. What's the real story there? What's the power of just getting started?
Oh, that's probably the biggest myth holding people back. Seriously. The truth is, you absolutely do not need a lot of money to start investing, even something small, like $50 a month. If you do it consistently, month after month, year after year, it adds up significantly, thanks to compounding. It's not really about the $50 itself. It's about harnessing that quiet power of compound interest. Time is your biggest asset. That small amount, given enough time, just grows and grows. It snowballs, which leads to that key principle. Time in the market beats timing the market. Don't try to guess the highs and lows. Just get in and stay in consistently. And for tools, things like low-cost index funds are great, or target date funds. They make it easy. They diversify for you, adjust risk automatically over time.
Wow, the power of compounding. It's actually kind of mind-blowing when you see the numbers. Think about this. Someone investing just $100 a month if they start at age 25 versus waiting until 35. That 10-year difference with just $100 a month can mean literally hundreds of thousands of dollars more by retirement. Hundreds of thousands.
It's huge.
It really shows why starting early, even small, is so incredibly important. Consistency, right? Not grand gestures. Okay, so putting all these pieces together, what's the big takeaway? It sounds like the main lesson is really about focusing your energy on the big stuff, the significant moves. Rather than, agonizing over whether you bought a coffee today, it's about big wins, not tiny sacrifices.
Exactly. That's a perfect summary. The source material talks about these big 4 wins. These are the levers that really create significant financial progress, exponential growth even. So, number 1, automating your savings and investments. We talked about that. Just setting it up saves you potentially thousands by making saving effortless. Number 2, negotiating your salary. Think about it. One successful conversation can boost your income by thousands year after year. That's massive leverage.
Yeah, you have the salary negotiation. That's a big one.
Huge. 3rd, avoiding high interest debt, especially credit card debt. As we said, those interest rates just eat away at any progress you make elsewhere. And 4th, optimizing your really big recurring expenses. Things like your rent or mortgage, your car payment, maybe even bundling or cutting subscriptions you don't use much. Focusing on these big 4, that's what creates real wealth. Thousands, tens of thousands in savings over time. It dwarfs the impact of skipping a latte.
Right. So we get the principles. Define your rich life. Automate. Spend consciously. Kill debt. Invest early. Focus on big wins. Sounds great, but how do you actually do it? It's easy to understand the theory, harder to put it into practice day to day. So we've kind of distilled this down into a practical roadmap for you, something you can actually follow.
Yeah, let's make it concrete. Here's a possible 6-week plan, breaking it down step by step. Week 1, focus on your credit cards, get your credit report, check your score, call your banks, see if you can negotiate those interest rates down. Just get clarity.
Okay. Week 1, credit.
Week 2, open a high-interest savings account. Find one online that usually offer better rates. Start putting your emergency fund or just general savings somewhere it can actually earn a bit of interest.
Week 2, high interest savings. Got it.
Week 3, time to tackle retirement accounts. If your employer offers a 401k, especially with a match, sign up, get that free money. If not, look into an IRA. Start the process.
Week 3, retirement. Don't leave money on the table.
Week 4, let's start investing. Open an investment account, maybe a brokerage account, and begin investing in those low-cost index funds we mentioned. Start small if you need to, $50, $100. Set up automatic contributions. Just start.
Week 4, start investing even small. Okay.
Week 5, automation time. Set up automatic bill payments for everything you can. Then set up those automatic transfers from your checking account to your savings and investment accounts. Right after payday is usually best.
Week 5, automate everything. Nice.
And finally, week 6. Circle back to conscious spending. Look at your automated system. See that 20% or whatever you decided for guilt-free spending. Make a conscious plan for it. Direct it towards things that genuinely bring you joy based on your rich life definition.
Week 6, conscious spending plan. Love it.
So yeah, as we wrap up this deep dive, just remember that journey we took. It starts with defining what a rich life means to you personally. Then it's about putting systems in place like automation, spending consciously extravagantly on what you love, cutting what you don't, getting rid of that high-interest debt, starting to invest early and consistently, and always focusing your energy on those big wins that really make the difference.
Absolutely. It really reframes it, doesn't it? Being rich isn't just about a number in a bank account. It's about designing a life lived on your own terms. So the final thought for you to chew on is, what's your rich life going to look like? And hey, if you found this breakdown helpful, maybe share it with a friend who could use a bit of a money reset. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.
Thanks for tuning in to Middle Class Millionaire. Subscribe now and keep building your wealth, one thought at a time.